Hello everybody, here's today's daily dose. Now I'm sure most of us will agree that one of the most challenging question types is spot the error or finding errors. So understanding the need for some quick tips and concepts, here's presenting to you rules to help you spot those errors faster. In this video, we will look at 3 such rules. Rule number 10. When comparing adjectives ending in IOR, senior, junior, superior, inferior are followed by the preposition to. Here's your example. This watch is superior and more expensive than that. Where do you think the error is? This watch is, so the error is in part B, right? You add to, that's correct. So the rule is pretty simple, right? When you're comparing something, adjectives ending in IOR. So for example, inferior, superior, all of these, junior, senior. If you notice all these in a context, right, you'll always have to following it, right? Quickly some example sentence. He felt inferior to his older sibling, right? Inferior to. Yeah. So that's the next rule that you need to remember, right? So these sort of, when you're comparing these sort of adjectives ending in IOR, superior to and more expensive than that. So I'm just giving you example sentences. He is junior to me in the firm. Junior plus to. He is senior to me by 5 years. Yeah, following? So that's the rule. Let's move on. So that's rule number 10. When comparing adjectives ending in IOR, example, all of these examples are followed by to. Next, rule number 11. Transitive verbs do not use a preposition or is not followed by a preposition when the direct object is stated. What was that? Okay, don't worry. I've explained what a transitive verb is and I've also explained what does it mean by a direct object is stated. Watch. My brother has ordered for a new book, right? So quickly, option C is where the error is. Yes, that is correct. What you need to do is you need to delete this for. Why? Why do I need to delete this for? What's wrong with that? Now notice this. This is your clue word, ordered, right? These are transitive verbs. Okay, now that might sound a little Greek and Latin for some of you, right? So you have something called transitive and intransitive verbs. I'm assuming most of you know it. If you don't, we'll quickly look at it. So transitive verbs are these transitive verbs take up an object, okay? So let's say if I say, he loved his house, right? Loved, the verb, his house. He loved what? This is the direct object, right? So he loved his house. Intransitive, it does not have a direct object. So for example, if I say he arrived, that's it. Does not have any direct object. You following? Right? Or if I say he died, right? These verbs don't have any direct object. So intransitive verbs, direct objects do not follow. Transitive verbs, direct objects follow, right? So having said that, in the context, the rule is when the direct object is stated, right? Transitive verbs don't have prepositions after them. So for example, if I say, let's see, if I say I evaluated the student, right? I evaluated, how do I figure out what the direct object is? It answers the question who or what. I evaluated who? The student. He loved what? His house. So this verb is a transitive verb, right? It takes up a direct object and I don't have any preposition after evaluated. I don't say evaluated on the student. Incorrect. So there are so transitive verbs usually don't take up a preposition. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the rule, right? So for example, if I say, I promptly answered his questions, right? I don't say I promptly answered to his questions. Incorrect. I promptly answered what? His questions. So are you following? So the error is in part C, 4. Keep that in mind. What's the rule? Transitive verbs do not use a preposition when the direct object is stated. So look up a lot of transitive verbs just to give you examples. Admire, maintained, right? These are all transitive verbs. Loved, and we looked at 2 more. Answered, evaluated, in our context ordered. Rule number 12. Good old rule to recollect and apply. Difference between for and since with respect to time, right? For is always followed by a period of time and since is followed by a specific point in time. Here's your example. They decided to arrange a grand party on the eve of her retirement, especially as she had been working for the firm since almost 20 years. This is another easy one. Let's see if you're able to identify where the error is. So we've covered how much? 11 rules, 4 more rules to go. How are we doing? They decided to arrange a grand party on the eve of her retirement, part A, especially as she had been working for the firm, part B, since almost 20 years, part C. People tend to overlook this, but it's a simple error, right? We're talking about a period of time. So the rule is you always use for plus a period of time, and you always use since plus a specific point in time, right? That's the rule. Yes, so since is incorrect. The error is in part C. You replace since with for. 2 actions are there in the past, right? One is them deciding. The other one is that she had been working. Now, whenever you have 2 actions in the past, the first action is always in the perfect continuous. Here it is perfect, past perfect continuous tense, right? And decided is simple past. That's the second action. So this is fine as it is. There is no error in this. It's absolutely fine. They decided to arrange a grand party. This is the second action. Why? Because she had been working for the firm for almost 20 years. Are you following? So here, there's no error in this. This is fine. The error is here. Incorrect preposition. Rule number 12. For plus a period of time, since plus a point in time. That's all we have for this video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I'll be back with yet another tip soon. Until then, stay focused.
All bottles are caps. Some caps are covers. No bowl is a cover. So draw the diagram for this. All bottles are caps. All bottles are caps. Some caps are covers. Some caps are covers. So I think we will use CP and CV, right? Because both these start with C, right? So let's not confuse ourselves. So all bottles are caps. Some caps are covers, and no bowl is a cover. No bowl is a cover. So no bowl is a cover. Again, let's say this is BT and BW. Okay. So that's the basic diagram. Basic diagram for the given statements. All bottles are caps, some caps are covers, and no bowl is a cover. What did we ensure here? We have ensured minimum overlapping, right? Least encroachment of different sets here, right? All bottles are covers anyway has to be done this way.
So the first context that we have is the failure of crops in successive years put the farmer in a tight corner. A tight corner is our highlighted phrase, and that is the idiom. So from the given options, we have to choose which of the options bring in the meaning as a tight corner. Option 1, in a closed room. Option 2, in a small field. Option 3, in a difficult situation. Option 4, in a meadow. Okay. So if I have to give you another example sentence, I could say, she had been in tight corners before, but she always managed to get out of them. So what are we trying to say here? Is it in a closed room, or in a small field, or in a difficult situation, or in a meadow? In a difficult situation. The failure, again, there's a clue word in the context, failure, right? So that's again helping us from the context. So the answer is option 3.